if you crafted the gold and silver VIP ticket plus also you craft it with your MCP point for I think there's the VIP, there's the Uncommon Club, there's the Common Club. We will be announcing in the next day or so, or a couple of days, a special email going out to the holders with our RSVP link. You will need to RSVP because the venue can only hold so many people. The venue is different than where we held last year's party. It's becoming like an annual thing where all our fans gather around. So hopefully, this will be a great place, much bigger and everything, so we can fit a lot more. And we invited a lot of our special guests from the studios that we work with, comic artists, talents, and so on. So that's pretty much on that one on the 17th. And on the 18th, I do believe our special guest Sanjay has put his hand up and volunteered annually so far a special gold and silver party for
Yeah.
the holder, and I believe few artists and talents will also be at this event. So looking forward to be seeing you here, and Dan will be joining me this year
Oh, great.
to both of these. So yeah, it will be great to for a lot of you guys to reconnect with him and give you some first-hand update if he's got anything he can share with you all.
That is awesome. Well, I will before I pick your brain on what's coming. I do want to go back to kind of the beginning of all this, which I think we were all there at a dinner in New York Comic Con shortly after you started releasing these gold and silver logos, giving them out at events. And I was hearing a story about how, well, Dan was telling me you guys were at the hotel somewhere, and the idea of what you could do with the gold and silver logo perks
Oh
was just
yes,
on fire in your head, and you were like, you guys would stop talking, you'd go to your room, and then he's like, I got to bang on my door, and David's there, and he's like, okay, I had another idea. This is what we should do.
That
So,
was
yeah,
London. I remember that very
that's what it
yeah,
was,
well.
London.
yeah. That was in London. I, you know, we put the logo business card out initially. Really is when we wanted to have something to give to people when we see them in person. We never thought it will turn out to be like a exclusive club or what have you not. And every logo card has really been given out with no financial return. It's not like we are selling these cards. And it was also a property that we felt it belongs to VeVe, uh, and we could do a lot more, and we can practice a lot of the utility around that gold and silver club. And one of the mission from that London was how can we make the event or the redemption of these club more and more vibrant and more exclusive and more content. And we never thought that the car itself would be so valuable, and especially it's becoming a major status for a lot of these community champions for us, and a lot of the content come from the community, and the gold and silver car holders has been tremendously wonderful to work with, and the people who hold them are some of our key influencers, and always echoing what we do, including yourself. Sanjay in particular is absolute true champion for putting all these extra side event on at his own time, and a lot of time at his own expense to get this thing going. And I believe this year the event's going to be even bigger and better because we always wanted to top up, be better every year. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. The event we're putting on this year has been a year worth of hard work to get to where we at. So yeah, hopefully you guys will enjoy what we have to offer you all.
Absolutely. And so you kind of listed out some of the specs of what we should expect at this VV party as far as like the gold and silver logo ticket holders and the logo holders in the video. You mentioned I believe 3 physical items and 2 to 3 digital items. Is that correct?
Yes, you are correct. We do have, and what we're going to do this year is we're going to split up the redemption into 2 different parts. On the 17th to the 20th, during the Comic Con, the whole weekend from Thursday to Sunday, when you come to the VeVe booth, and we're going to be on booth 3327, there will be your normal standard redemption products on hand because we are limited to the space that we have. So a lot of those smaller cards, like the usual redemption, it will happen at the stand. And then and I believe we will be announcing the time when you can come and redeem it. But throughout the whole Thursday, you will be also able to pick up your wristband. The wristband will allow you to get into the party on the evening of the 17th. And, with the RSVP, we'll have a list of people. We'll be checking your name, crossing it off as you go into the venue. There will be 2 lines. There will be a VIP line, which will start probably 7:30. If you get there earlier, we'll try to clear you in to the venue as early as we can. And then I believe the common one will be announcing the time with your RSVP in the next day or 2. On the 18th, at the Sanjay's Go and Server Party, there will be another redemption. And the redemption that's going to happen on the 18th is pretty much just going to happen for that one night only. I've been working closely with Sanjay on the number of people that he think will be coming to that Go and Silver. So we purposely only make X amount plus X amount percentage more, like maybe 10% more, to really cater for that Go and Silver physical redemption. It's a lot of product to carry to the show, to New York, all the way from New Zealand. So we want to make sure that those, and they are made for exclusively just for that show anyway. So that physical component you will be receiving during the 18th evening. And at this moment, there should be enough to go to every holder, at least one. If you're holding multiple logos, we can't guarantee you'll get multiple of it, the same one, but you will at least get one of them. That's what I can be sure to tell you at the moment.
Sure. And I'm gonna ask, and you're gonna say you can't tell me, but what's in the box, David?
Yeah. So the box is really, in the case, it's been purposely designed for the level 100. We always wanted to somehow, what's the best word to use? We always wanted to ensure the level 100 fans going to have something very special. So there's only 100 of these boxes being made, and they will get their own physical and digital product inside that box. Sanjay was kind enough to be in touch with all the level 100 who's going to be at New York. So for those level 100 who's going to be at the New York Comic Con, we will be giving you these, and they are exclusively made to each of these account holders. I can't tell you too much what's in there.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure the level 100 holders is going to be putting and sharing it in social. So I'm looking forward to that. And it is a way for us to recognize how important they are, because they're not just demonstrating they're a true collector, but they went beyond our mind to get to the level 100. When we set the app, when the app was first launched, and how we put the MCP program together and the level, we thought no one will get to level 100 in such a speed. It was something like 7 or 8 years before you get to that level 100. And that's basing on if you're just collecting one of everything. And as you know, a lot of these level 100 collectors, some of them are collecting tens or if not 30, 40 of certain mint or collectibles to get to that level. So it's a way for us to indict them into our level 100 Hall of Fame. So each of them will be receiving pretty much dedicated gift in that box. And those will be given out at the New York Comic Con. So I believe there's only a couple handful, maybe a dozen of them will be attending to New York. So we're looking forward to presenting each one of them to them at our stand, and hopefully we get some photo ops in our stand. So looking forward to see the level 100.
That is so cool. I'm checking my profile right now, and I'm at level 64, but I'm a level 100 at heart. Ha ha
Oh,
I
ha
got
yes.
ha.
you. I got you beat.
But that's awesome, David. That's really cool. I want to pivot just really quick because I haven't formally been able to congratulate you on the get when it comes to Ben Rose.
Yes.
So that is awesome that you guys have invited him into the team. If you're allowed to say, how long was that in the works for?
I have obviously a lot of you probably have seen Ben and myself. I was on one of his podcasts about a year or so ago, and that was the first time we really got to talk about what VeVe is about, what I'm doing in the space, and what we're trying to achieve. And we kept a very close friendship and work. And every now and then we'll pop together for coffees and catch up and talk about the challenges in the space. So and for Ben to come onto VeVe, that started. Uh, by now will be over 120 odd days. So we always been, myself and Dan has always been thinking, who is the best to help us to drive this business even further, and what quality are we looking for? It is very important. A lot of you will know that both myself and Dan, we have a very different skill set, and that's what really got us to where we are today. And to have a third person coming in the top level, really number one had to work. Number one, understand the culture of collecting and why we're doing. The VeVe model is really collectors at heart. How are we going to spread that word widely? That's number one. Number two is someone who has skills that it compromises to me and Dan. It's no good you just have another person coming in to do the same job. And the third person is someone who has that skill set of running organization in our size to grow that business further. And one of the major things between me and Dan is that we are never ever too scared to even replace our own job or our own title, because we only think about one thing: is the best for the business and best for the community. So Ben have demonstrated throughout his involvement in his last job is very close with the community. A lot of you will have seen a lot of the YouTube clips he's put together, talks about what he does in the past, his past job, and what his involvement in the Web3. So, and lastly, is someone who believes in what we do. You really have to breed, in a way. You really have to really enjoy what we do and live that life to work at VeVe. And he have demonstrated he have all that, and the love and the support. Another thing is he's extremely easy to talk to, very humble, very, very smart, and we really, I think the wealth of experience he will be bringing to VeVe is going to be amazing in the coming years.
That is so cool. I know that you and I had a conversation, I think it was about a year and a half ago now, where you were talking about like what you're most passionate about in the company, what you love doing. And one of the things that you said is like, I love the chase of getting the license. I
Yes.
love going after the IP and having those meetings. And when I lock it in, I feel a lot of joy. And so do you feel like that's something that you can focus on even more now that you have somebody like Ben?
Yeah, certainly. That the chasing of the IP and catching them all to be on VeVe is something wonderful, because every time when we share these new IPs and new announcement, and we see that energy from the community, it really opens up my eye. We can go for even more and bigger, better IPs. And the IP world has so many new verticals that we want to be in. This will allow me to be very focused and plan it out with the teams, how we're going to be bringing all these verticals into VeVe and deliver, most important, to our fans, to yourself. We talked about a lot of these vertical a year and a half ago. A lot of them has come in, and we introduce them slowly in the vertical because we're testing them. We done the VeVe5. We take away the notes, what we did wrong, what we did good, what we get out of it, and then we come back and try a new way to do it. There's different vertical. We've seen gaming, which we have announced with Ubisoft. A lot of you have seen Capcom's with the Monster Hunter. We want to do more gaming. So there are verticals that we want to focus a lot on. Sports is another one, trying to figure out what's the best way to do sports. But so far, it seems like a lot of the new digital partnerships that we have announced have a lot of very key success. We done last year with Funko. We have done one with the famous designer house, Christian Louboutin. We today, apart from the little bit of hiccup, we did very well with the Stanley Gibbon with the Penny Black. You will continue to see in the coming months that we will have more digital announcements. And another pillar was the physical comic. The physical comic has dragged a lot and bring a lot of new audience to VeVe Comics, and vice versa. A lot of people who click VeVe Digital Comics get to experience that physical collecting as well.
So yeah, actually, since you're speaking on these pillars, you've released multicolor logos that have seemed to be on a brand of sorts. Um, we've seen the green logo go towards VeVe Comics, and then we have these other colors. Are those, do those have a purpose towards potentially other pillars?
Yes, they do. And one of the things Dan and the team is done well is to ensure when we brand ourselves, when we go to the market, people recognize us from those colors and represent certain pillars. The comic one has been probably the most well separated, and it demonstrates the green is the VeVe Comics, and the blue has been the collectibles to date. So those are the two most recognizable, and obviously the gold and silver logo holders who have that premium prestige color. So these things are starting to come to its own fruition, and we still got few colors that we can use, and they will slowly move towards those verticals.
Yeah, you kind of teased us with one of the verticals by introducing the Ron English jukebox and a couple albums there. Uh, is there potential? Is there potential? I know you've talked about it kind of, but is there more movement towards that in the near future?
Yeah, the VeVe5, the what we classify as all music related. will be in that vertical coming up, and you'll see a lot more of it. The music, the VeVe sub brand, it has its own challenges because you have a lot of publishers, writers, music music publishers and talents behind these to get clearance before we can fully launch that. And just like any business, we have our ups and downs and we have our speed bumps. But we're navigating it through quite smoothly, and there will be a couple more trials we're going to do around the VeVe. So, looking forward to show you guys a lot more what we have coming up.
I am so excited. Magic, I've just been rambling on, and in case you wanted to jump in and say anything, you probably should, because I may
I
not
can do
stop.
that. I know. I muted for a second. I was like, wait. David, I think also in the video was mentioned perhaps that we will see some more physical comics or new comics at this event, or other things that people might be able to purchase at the booth.
Yes, we will be announcing in our newsletter, so please do look out for this bumper issue that we're putting together. We have an amazing, one of my most favorite artists. I've been working on this artist for over 2.5 years to come on VeVe. He is the pinnacle of comic. He is the top of the top. So I'm so looking forward to announce this new physical product coming out with this artist, and fingers crossed that Marvel has actually finished printing them. That almost the paper when it's get delivered to New York Comic Con is probably still going to be warm. So I'm, I could not be happier to be announcing the next physical coming out, and you will need to line up at the booth to get it. The artist will also be at New York Comic Con this year, but at a limited capacity. The artist is very renowned. It might take you days to get a signature from him, though. The lines will be going out around the convention floors just to get his autograph. It's
Do we
one
get
of the
to
best.
guess? Do we get to guess who that is?
I feel like I might know who it is, but I'm not going to say.
I think I might guess. I don't know for sure though.
Yeah, if you're lucky to get a signature from it, it's amazing. But for us, there's so many different activations going to be happening at VeVe this year. Yeah, and one of the key pillar this year in New York is really driving comics. We want a lot more comic users. So anyone you see walking around, if they don't know about VeVe, please be part of our champion to tell them, hey, have you seen VeVe comics? Bring them down to stand 3327. We're going to be showing them how to download and get started with VeVe. So, and I know there's hundreds of you guys are coming because I've seen just the list from the gold and silver logo, Sanjay. It's probably our biggest ever VeVe Gold and Silver logo meetup. It will be the biggest one we ever had.
That's right, David. Magic, just 2 minutes here. I want to chime in and say, David, first of all, thank you very much for your leadership and all the accomplishments. I know, there's a lot of learnings and a lot of, things that, were things that were learning moments for the company. But under your leadership, you've gone on to build one of the, most prestigious, the largest digital collectible company with branded IP and some of the most amazing IPs. So, the party that we have every year, for 364 days in a year, people can complain, but on that one day, we celebrate the team and the artists, David. So that really is a celebration of the VeVe team and all the artists and stuff like that. And, so that's the first point I want to make. Second point I want to make is, we're very grateful to you for what you've done with the VeVe Gold and Silver logo. You just, from the day that you brought it out, and you just literally you gave it out for free, and you followed through on just some incredible gifts from Ron English and from Nick and from other people. And I don't know what you have planned for this year. I just know that you're planning on some redemptions, physical redemptions at the party on the 18th. But I've got some pretty high security arrangements made already for it.
Yeah.
High
And
security. What, you got Mahalo standing out there, just like, hey, yo,
No,
you can't
no,
come
no,
in.
it's not Mahalo and stuff. This is like these are guys who could really bounce you out if they need to.
thank you, Sanjay. I couldn't thank you, more than enough in the community for giving us the opportunity to bring all this to fruition. Uh, it's definitely been a tough journey. We have our ups and downs, and throughout the way, we needed more support, and we always hear, when we need support from the community, you guys are always there. For us at VeVe and for Dan and myself, um, and even Ben, we couldn't thank you enough to giving us the opportunity to tell you, how excited we are. And when we first in the preparation of the announcement, um, it was very hard because we weren't too sure how our community will react. But we're certainly going to be here. Both myself and Dan, we're actually not going anywhere. In fact, uh, by having another executive level on board, it allows us to drive this ship, and or this train, whatever you call it, together longer and faster. From here, from the VeVe team, is all around execution. For me, I know a lot of you guys want to see a lot more IP and a lot more announcement. So even with New York Comic Con, we do have a couple small announcements, and then yeah, the idea is to come together to celebrate the New York Comic Con and celebrate the artist that's going to be there, and whatever new announcement we do, there will be a lot more in the coming months and year, and some of them, you know. I know will put a lot of smile on your faces when you hear what's coming. So just stay tuned. Thank you so much for waiting all this time with us. And another important thing is, if you did not hear from me and Dan, it doesn't mean we forgot about you. We just working extraordinary hard in the background to keep the ship going. The VeVe team, and I extend the gratitude to the extended team in VeVe. With some of the things that they have to deal with in the back, and day to day and week to week, it's amazing. We do have a lot to show you guys in the coming weeks. Hopefully, I want to announce what's coming, and some of the changes. Another team is the Stackar World. It's been one of those
Woo!
exciting things that we've been working with, Stackar World for a long time, and a lot of these things doesn't just happen overnight. It takes time to build, and it takes time to test. And both, we saw the synergy, what Stackart World wants to help in VeVe, and we also saw the need into branching into that area. So, what started was just a simple idea and talk, and planning it out and getting it launched and running that, as a lot of you have been in the open beta. And as we move on, we'll be bringing more IP into the Stackart world as well. So I truly hope you guys do enjoy that. And the team is going to continue to refine the experience, and this is in both sides of the platform. So yeah, stay tuned for more update to come on that.
Wait. I heard something you said, and I just want to clarify. So you said you might be bringing more IP into Stacker World. Are you meaning IP that's existing on VeVe,
Yes.
or like only exclusive to Stacker World?
To start off, is really bringing all the VeVe IPs onto the Stackart world, to
Got
start
it.
with. We already have been in talks about how we can drive those activities in the user engagement. So I'm not leaving anything unturned. We're exploring every avenue and opportunity to make that experience fun in that stack art world as well. So definitely there has been a lot of talks on what else we can do with the users who love that experience in the stack art world.
Got it. Magic, what's up?
I wanted to go back to you talking about the comics and really wanting to get comic book fans on the app. And just wanted to say that I think this physical component that you guys have incorporated into the events has been such a massive help. I mean, I've witnessed it firsthand of so many people, even at D23, so many people that they go to these events and wanting to shop and wanting to get exclusive things. And I think that's been such a huge great addition to what you guys are doing. Plus, we all like to collect physical as well. And I just wanted to ask, I saw the evolution of the booth at D23 and how great it looked. And could you talk a little bit about maybe what the presence and the booth setup might look like in New York?
Yeah, certainly. Many of you know, this year we done the two shows. There's the San Diego Comic Con, and then there's the D23, which was back to back. The New York Comic Con definitely will not. It will definitely be a lot bigger than what we had at D23, and the one thing about the Comic Con we did in San Diego is because the space and the timing arrangement, it's very, very difficult for any company just to get a space in Comic Con. In general, we shared the space in the past years with Marvel, but and Marvel has become one of our number one champion and partner. But one of the downside is that what we could do in our booth when we are co-branding with the partner with Marvel is we couldn't do the redemptions for the gold and silver holder. We couldn't announce other comics and other talents that doesn't belong to Marvel. So San Diego was one of the first one that we went out on our own, and we done the Rob Pryor, if you remember, Burton Morris. We had artists collab with the Stanley apparel, which did amazing well. And then we had a line of comic book that we launched at that show. With D23, Magic, like you mentioned, talked about, is a lot of these fans came around. And one of the things around the D23 is that everyone in there is celebrating the Disney company. VeVe was there to demonstrate that the Marvel is there in present for a bit of comic. The fact that we sold more comic at D23 than we did at Comic Con just shows you the amount of interest for our product there. For New York Comic Con this year, it's going to be even bigger. So it will be much bigger than what we had at San Diego. It will be much bigger than what we had at D23. The lineup, the physical product exclusive, the digital lineup, it's never been done before. So we have a brand new partnership coming out, launching a line of product for VeVe, as well as an exclusive line of product that will only be available at New York Comic Con. So you do want to come and check it out. We got photo booth opportunities, and as we talked about, is the physical exclusive comic. And for those of you who missed out San Diego D23, some of those comics we have and will be coming with us to this event as well.
So this partnership, is this like the equivalent of expectation of like maybe the Funko Iron Mans?
You can say that there'd be a new partnership that we haven't announced before. Something I saw very interesting at D23 got me thinking. We really need to get that fandom in. It was something I learned very new for the first time at the Disney D23. That really got me thinking, how can we get that fandom, that new kid vertical into VeVe? And the company founder and owner, got along very well with us and understand what VeVe was trying to achieve. And he also saw an opportunity that both audience collect things and they love collecting all these IPs that we're offering. So we got together and, hopefully this product line will be amazing to show off and showcase.
Yeah. Hey, David, that's amazing. Hey, two things. First of all, I wanted to say that, for someone like you who has such a deep passion for VeVe and Ecomi, to bring in someone as a co-CEO speaks volumes to the character and the type of person that you are. I mean, that's absolutely incredible, David. So congratulations on, making such an amazing decision. And the second thing is, man, even when you were, when you had full responsibility for everything VeVe, everything economy running around, you're so voracious in terms of IPs. I mean, there's like your talent and skill with signing up IPs was unparalleled. And now that you have more time on your hands, given that Ben's going to be doing a bunch of work, I can only imagine, David, what you're going to be doing with all these IPs. How so? Tell us a little bit about what you plan to use your time for now. Like you've got Ben to take over some stuff, right? But you're co-CEO. Where would you spend your time, and what are you looking forward to most?
Yeah, so my day to day hasn't really, it's not going to be reduced as such. I mean, we always have plenty of things on our plate at work. Uh, Ben, he's amazing at business planning. I mean, within the last fortnight, he's already put together a business plan moving forward, some of the restructure, how the reporting works in the company, and this will eventually be trickling down to the organization. And basically, the company, unlike any other traditional business, is that we as a company work remotely. This is something very different than most company out there. Remote working is very difficult to manage because you got time zone difference. So Ben will be able to share a lot of those loads to be focused on the day-to-day running of the business. And in regards to my time's already almost round the clock. I deal with suppliers and vendors in UK. A lot of my time now is focused in the Asia Pacific and predominantly in Japan, and also communicating with our Korean counterpart and really understanding how we can get into that the Chinese Greater Asia market and coming up with a solid plan and IP vertical to really cater for that. And then in the early mornings of my time, I looked after straight away with our US counterpart, and that goes from West Coast to the East Coast before they end their day. So our business is pretty much round the clock. So you barely get any rest because UK time's like 11, 12 hours. We're 11, 12 hours ahead. And, with our AM about 4 hours behind. So constantly you chasing round the clock to deliver these. And signing licensor partner is not an overnight thing. It goes through a channel of talents, the writers, the producers. There's a lot in there. And even once the partnership is signed, it's a lot of scoping with our creative team. Dan runs an amazing team that helps him to put all these things into the pipeline. Rather than trying to forecast things that's what's in the 2-3 months ahead, Dan is really working towards what's going to come out in 2025, beginning of 2026 now. So we always need to be ahead because the production on these 3D models is a lot of you can see they just get refined better and better. So Dan have to run a team and take up with my crap basically to say, listen, I need this to be out by then. And I often give them definitely not enough warning and time. So now with Ben coming on board, we can look at areas that we're weak off and areas where we need more skills in to scale this business. We talked about in the video, how do we hyper growth our business, and that will be driven by Ben and the executive team to lead to that. My day-to-day job will not be easy. It's not like I'm going to sit back and just play on the app and look at how we refine things. But instead, we're using this opportunity to fast track things that has been always just be, we have been a bit behind on.
Okay,
That's great,
real
David.
quick, I am so sorry, but can we just go back to David said, and Ben Rose pulled this off in a fortnight? Like he's Shakespeare.
Yeah. We
I don't know if I hear people describe time as a fortnight anymore.
Yeah. Ben came in the business the first day sitting in. The past 2 weeks is really just really get in deep with the business, getting to know our executive team, getting to know how each person work and understanding it. And the challenge is when you have a remote team, he has to work around the clock to suit those guys and the team members getting up and work towards that goal. So that's what we're doing now. And there's a lot of work being done even the last 2 weeks in the business.
I heard you want to say Fortnite again.
Yeah, myself and Dan, we never really. I mean, we work weekends, so it's like we never really had a weekend off. It's really just another day at work. I mean, the Saturday here is really Friday in the US. So today, you guys are on Sunday. We are Monday, so we're catching up with our Monday work and getting ready for your Monday, which is it's going to be a big week coming up because we're getting ready. We're a week and a half away from our biggest show of the year.
Well, David, that's awesome. We're really excited for it. I appreciate you coming out and taking a few moments to tell us about what's coming up because we're all stoked for it. And I know there's a lot of people that are going to be there that are excited to be there. We're stoked for the VeVe party. We're stoked for Sanjay's party. Magic, I know you got one more thing. I'll let you go.
Yeah, it's just one question, and I don't know that you can answer right now, or maybe we'll learn more in the next day or two with the RSVPs, but it is a question that I got from somebody. So I crafted multiple tickets with my MCP and gold logo, and if I wanted to invite my cousin who lives in the city and I have an extra ticket, am I going to be able to RSVP for him with one of my additional tickets?
Yes. And I was speaking to marketing early on. I know some people have multiple, even in the tens or even 100. Please only RSVP if you have someone really coming, because the RSVP allow us to understand what type of crowd we are looking at. We want to get into. We want to make sure the place is comfortable for everyone. So if you not coming, please don't RSVP because those numbers for us is quite crucial because it means if we have more VeVe users coming, some of our guests and VIP will not be invited in to the show because like any venue, there's only limited space we allow before we breach the fire code. So please only RSVP if you are really genuine coming. And if you have multiple tickets, you can give one of those to your someone you care and someone you want to share that VeVe community with. Bring them in all you want because this is your event as much as our event. But we do want to keep some space for our other guests that we want to bring in, like the studio partners, like the artists, the talents behind it, some of the magic that's been behind VeVe the past few years. A lot of our fans have never actually met them before, so we want to invite them in. So genuinely, just only RSVP if you're really going to make it to the show. So that indicates and gives us the best true how many fans are coming to the event. But this year's venue is much larger than last year. So we genuinely understand last year we hit the capacity and there was a huge line waiting outside. So this year we found a bigger venue, more easier to get into. So looking forward to see everyone there. And MetaVerse Lyfe, I saw your tweet this morning. I'm so looking forward to the season 2 of Collectors at Heart. So I can't wait till next Monday when you put this one on live.
Thank you, brother. That was, yeah, I'm excited for it too. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy this next season, and it features a lot of really cool people out in Europe, and a special little addition to each episode as well. So I'm excited for everybody to enjoy it.
Fantastic. All right, I'm going to be off. I'm going to
Yeah.
get back to my normal work. You guys continue and discuss, and we're truly looking forward to seeing you at the event. So there's going to be the Comic-Con event we're running. There's the VeVe party. There's the Sanjay Gold and Silver logo invite. So I'm pretty sure we're going to bump into all of you who's coming to New York. And yeah, if you can only stop by to our booth and say hi, please do so. And we look forward to serving you again. And look out for all the amazing exclusive newsletters coming out to your email box in the next couple of days.
Awesome. Thank you, David. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, David.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers.